Hey guys, Sarah Taylor here, and just want to introduce myself before we get started. I have been with Plexus for about almost 5 years now, actually, and I'm super excited to be involved in this series. It has been absolutely amazing. So I hope that you guys are enjoying it as much as I have. Our goal truly in this business is to become insignificant in this business. And I know that's a super crazy thought, and it's something that I had to really come to terms with over the course of the last 5 years, but it's so true. And becoming insignificant in this business means that you're not needed by everybody in your organization. And that's truly the goal that we're after. So today, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about kind of the key ways to do that. And that is through coaching in your organization. And not just coaching, but developing a duplicatable system for coaching within your organization. So I want you guys to kind of sit back and think, how many of you have signed somebody and thought, oh my goodness, holy smokes, this person is going to be my absolute next rock star. And then they sign up and they do absolutely nothing. It's such a hard thing to watch and such a frustrating thing. And you get so tempted to, just drag them along with you because you see their potential. But I want you guys to all just kind of envision success in this journey, your journey to diamond, as kind of like climbing a mountain. So what I mean by that is, kind of keep with me along this storyline. I love, helping you guys envision certain things. But as you're walking through this journey and you're climbing this mountain of success, you're climbing the mountain to diamond, to jewel status, you bring people into this business and you kind of determine who's going to be taking the steps to start climbing the mountain with you. Some are going to stay at the bottom, and that's perfectly fine, but some are going to say yes to climbing with you. And just because they say yes, that they want to climb, doesn't always mean that they're willing to do what it takes to get to the top, right? So they don't understand what all it takes to get there. So you start climbing, and you're all kind of climbing together. You've got a whole bunch of people alongside you, and suddenly Jenny sits down and she says she's tired, and you encourage her to keep going and ask her, if she wants to go to the top, and she says yes. So you're like, you know what? I see this potential in you. And you pick her up and you put her on your back and you start carrying her up the mountain. That's fine, right? And then suddenly two more that you're walking with and climbing with say the same exact thing, and you ask them that question, and they tell you that they didn't realize it was going to be this hard, that their feet are tired, and they ask you to carry them as well. And you're like, sure, we all are going to get to the top of the mountain. So you put them on your back too, and then two more people do the same thing. You guys, your feet start to move slower and slower under the weight, and you have to take a different route because you're struggling so hard, and you get slower and slower. Your pace is snail's pace at this point, yet you still have all those people alongside you wanting and climbing and waiting for you, wanting to get to the top. They're energized. They don't have anything on their backs, and they're wanting to run faster. But they have to slow down to keep up with your pace because you're the only one that knows the way to the top, and they don't know it yet, and they need your guidance. You guys, we were never meant to climb this mountain with 6 people on our back. The pace of the leader always determines the pace of the pack. And sometimes as leaders, we have to make the really, really difficult determination that it's totally fine to leave somebody behind and to walk at their own pace. Each person that you put on your back, this is critical, guys. Each person that you put on your back, they steal time, energy, focus, and navigation and speed from those walking alongside you that truly want this. Leaving them behind does not mean that you don't care about them. This doesn't mean that you don't support them, equip them, or go, allow them to go at their own pace, but you can't be dragging them to the top alongside you. So today, I want to talk about identifying those that you should pour into, that you should partner with to go up that mountain. You guys, it's all about action. It's not about the words that are coming out of their mouth, right? Anybody can tell us that they want to go to the top, but their action, their decision to move their feet forward in that direction are what we're after here. So you want to become a star maker on your team. You want to equip and empower and inspire those that you partner with to reach the top first before you. And that's when you know that you've really made it. So your goal, like I said, like I titled this, is to become insignificant, not needed in your business. Your goal is to stand behind the people on your team and shine that light behind them, shine the flashlight so that they can see the path behind them so that they reach the top of the mountain first. That is the goal with this. So how do you determine who to partner with? I think that's one of the most difficult concepts because we all have so many different amazing people on our team. Some are friends, some are people we don't know, some we see crazy amounts of potential in, and others we're not even sure. So who do you determine who you partner with? Your goal every 90 days in your business is to create a new story in your business, a new rock star in your business, a new person that you are bringing up, or maybe multiple news stories, right? So, but you have to choose the right people to do that. So there's 4 C's that go into determining who you spend your time coaching in your business. And the first is chemistry. You have to like them to be able to spend all this time coaching them, right? You have to actually physically like the person and have a connection with them. Number 2 is character. And character is really huge. Over the course of my time in network marketing, I have come to understand just how big character is. And if you're putting somebody in a position of influence, if you're putting all your time into one person, you want to make sure that they have honesty and integrity. And because if people don't trust them, at the end of the day, they're not going to go far in this business, right? And if they're constantly breaking your trust, you're wasting your time on them too. So number 3 is coachability. You have to be willing to partner. They have to be willing to want your coaching, right? They have to be willing to listen and to learn. Otherwise, this is just not going to work, right? There are plenty of people that have crazy potential on my team, but are just not willing to be coached by me. And they're not the people that I'm going to be spending time with, right? So they have to want and desire your coaching and be open to coaching as well. Otherwise, a coaching relationship quite simply is just not going to work, right? So number 4 is commitment. They have to be truly willing to commit to get to that top. They have to want it themselves. You can't make them want it. You cannot make them have commitment. It has to come from within. They have to be committed to their own success. They have to have that grit. And with this, I want you guys to understand that you are not responsible for their success. You are responsible to their success. And this is a super, super important concept in your business. You cannot make them successful. You cannot lead them. You can lead them up the mountain or to the mountain, but you cannot, they have to actually physically put their feet in front of one another and climb. And it takes their feet moving forward, their grit, their determination, not yours. You cannot inspire that in them. And you do not put them on your back and carry them up either, as tempting as that is. So you're not going to create a dynasty being everything to every single person on your team. And that's really, really difficult to have to determine, but not everybody should receive your coaching. And a really difficult byproduct of success is that you have to learn to leave people behind and be okay with it, accept it as part of it. So coaching is super, super intentional. And it's so key to have systems in place for onboarding, for prospecting, all those types of things, but also for coaching to help them navigate to their goals. You need to have a system in place. So coaching means not wasting time above all else. You want to really refine this and make it very, very task oriented so that you know that your coaching is being taken, it's being used, and you're spending your time wisely, right? So the key to that is to make it task oriented at every level, no matter what level of person you're coaching, whether it's a brand newbie or somebody seasoned on your team that maybe is even already a jewel on your team. You want to make that coaching task oriented so you know that they are in it to win it, right? So for instance, if you're coaching somebody and you give them a task, you put the ball in their court once you've given them that task, whatever it is, whether it's going live, doing some team trainings, hosting a launch party, making a simple post on Facebook, any of those things, doing some cold calls, whatever that looks like. You then put the ball in their court and say, call me back when you have done it. Call me back when you have done it. This teaches personal accountability. It puts the ball in their court, and it's not leaving it up to you to follow up with them. And it helps kind of you to gauge, their pace and what they're doing in this business and the commitment level that they have in this business. That requirement of action for your time is going to change your business, you guys. Put that ball in their court. Call me back when you have done it. Don't hound them to keep doing it. Maybe remind them every once in a while when you're first getting started. But if they're not willing to do the simple actions and then call you back once they've started, they are not your person to coach, right? So there's actually 4 different stages to coaching that I'm going to go through really quickly with you. The first is modeling. The second is action. The third is accountability. And the fourth is momentum, what we are all after, right? So modeling is that first stage. And as you're going through your coaching, people coach best, or receive coaching best, by seeing it done first. So you're actually going to need to model whatever you're asking them to do. So for instance, if you're doing 3-way chats, maybe a business presentation, launch parties, you do the first one and show them how it's done. And then you both partner together to do the second one. And maybe you do that a couple times until you feel like they're ready to handle it. And then they go out and do it. So it's I do, we do, you do, okay? That's the best way to do that. And as you're doing this, you truly need to see people for who they can become, not what they currently are. That's the beauty of coaching. See the potential and bring it out. You never want to do anything alone in this business. Everything that you do in this business is an opportunity for the people that you're coaching to learn. So being transparent and showing what you're doing behind the scenes as you're just going about your business is really huge for them, so that they can kind of understand that. And once you have done the I do, we do, you do scenario and determine that they're ready, although not perfect, you move on to that stage of accountability. This stage is simply something along the lines of a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, whatever works for you in your business, between the two of you guys, to check in and hold them accountable individually or in a group for their business and the actions that they're doing. You guys, this coaching that I'm talking about, this isn't just level ones, okay? So you have to taproot into your team. And what I mean by taprooting, Brooke Hemingway talks about this a whole bunch, but say you have a level 1 that signed up and signed somebody, but that level 1 is not very committed to this business and maybe not fully invested, but you see this hidden potential, this hidden star underneath. The person seems super interested, super intrigued. You then are going to want to taproot and go around them and talk to them, go through them and talk to them, involve the upline. But you guys, this coaching scenario is absolutely not just for your level 1. So work your business, understand that there's going to be connectors on your team, and that's okay. And work through them and go through this coaching, process with them as well. So once you've gone through the accountability, you've moved on. Once you go through accountability and you're holding all your people accountable, then you get to move on to momentum. That's when you let them just run. That's when they do things on their own. They coach, they do their own systems, they run their own business, and the goal is to have them do it better than you and on their own way. They're doing their own way. And so you do this every 90 days. You're constantly looking for a new story in your business every 90 days. You're looking for that new person, a new story to create, a new just storyline to celebrate within your team, and you run them through your coaching processes. You spend 90 days pouring into them, running through your systems that you have in place on your team, teaching them to prospect, to recruit, to onboard, to teach, to train, and then to coach finally, and then you hold them accountable. This is your cycle, your process, and your system for bringing up rock stars in your organization. Now, within this business, and I know this is going a little bit long, within this business, I know it's super hard to coach friends, but it's inevitable. And not everybody on your team is going to be a stranger that's super easy to coach. Sometimes you're going to have hard conversations, and you have to be willing to coach your friends. So in this business, we know that that's predominantly what we're doing. It's network marketing. So we're working with our friends. And I just want to say this, you guys, you're not doing anyone anyone any favors by not being honest with them, even your friends. So there's two different types of pretty extreme leaders, and we don't want to be either one, right? So the first is the everybody's friend leader, the leader that's full of sunshine, happiness, makes everybody feel good, everything's rainbows and unicorns, even if it's not, right? And then number two is the fiery, angry, ranting leader, right? Both of those types of leadership styles can be equally detrimental and dangerous. And it's so easy to fall into category number one and just be everybody's friend, right? But you have to be willing to give constructive criticism to everybody on your team. And so what I mean by this, and some good verbiage that I always love to use, is just saying something as simple as, hey girl, what if I noticed something in your business that was holding you back? Would you want me to tell you? Have that conversation with them, you guys. I'm telling that, and you go through this and you're telling them this because you really want them to be truly successful. You want them to find, to understand that you truly love them, and because you love them, this is why you're talking to them about this, right? So coaching is about bringing out the absolute best in people. It's helping them see their potential, helping them realize what they're capable of, guiding them but not directing them. This is their story at the end of the day that they're writing, and you're simply providing the guidance along it. So don't be afraid to coach your friends and have those tough conversations with them. Everything that you're doing, make sure that they understand that it's done from a place of love, not criticism, right? So you have to be willing to have those hard conversations. And at the end of the day, our goal is to become truly, truly insignificant in our own business. Think about 10 years from now, if you have built up a just rock star group of leaders, and they're not requiring so many things, they're running on their own. That is what we are after, right? So we do this by creating leaders, by creating runners and self-starters, and all that comes down to how we coach. Put in the time now, coach, develop those 90-day rock stars, right? Those 90-day storylines on your team, and use the system that is really going to change. Creating a system is really going to change your business. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So first, select the right people to coach, and then two, run them through the 4 steps of your coaching process: model, action, accountability, and momentum. Thank you guys. Have a great afternoon.